For too long, Africa was seen through the lens of outsiders, defined by colonizers, exploited by empires, and dismissed by the global elite. But that story is changing. Across the continent, a new Africa is rising, bold, confident, and unapologetically African. From Ouagadougou to Nairobi, young visionaries are reclaiming their identity, building new economies, and reshaping global narratives. This is not the Africa they expected. It's the Africa of Kwame Nkrumah's dreams, of Sankara's courage, and of Lumumba's fire. And now, the world watches with unease as Africa unites, grows stronger, and begins to lead. This isn't just a resurgence, it's a revolution rooted in Pan-African pride. The question is no longer if Africa will rise, but who can stand in its way. Africa is no longer begging for a seat at the table, it's building its own. For centuries, the image of Africa was shaped by foreign hands, a continent portrayed as broken, dependent, and in need of saving. But that narrative was a lie, a convenient story crafted by those who feared what a united, self-aware Africa could become. Today, that false image is burning to the ground, replaced by a powerful reality. Africa is rising with pride, with purpose, and with power. Across the continent, a loud revolution is underway, not just in politics or economics, but in identity. A new generation of Africans is looking inward, not outward, for validation. They are rediscovering their languages, reviving their cultures, and reimagining the future through African eyes. No longer ashamed of their roots, they wear them like armor. From Afrobeat to Afrofuturism, Africa's voice is loud, clear, and global. We're no longer imitating, we're innovating. This shift in identity is deeply rooted in Pan-Africanism, the belief that Africa's strength lies in unity, self-reliance, and cultural pride. The ghosts of colonialism no longer haunt us. They empower us to reclaim what was stolen, our dignity, our history, and our destiny. The youth are the torchbearers of this transformation. They are tech-savvy, socially conscious, and fiercely determined to dismantle the systems that held their ancestors down. They are not waiting for change, they are the change. And the world is taking notice. Western powers, once comfortable with a divided, dependent Africa, are now uneasy. Because the old tactics of control no longer work. Aid with strings attached, media narratives rooted in pity, and backroom deals that benefit the few, all of it is being rejected. Africans are speaking with one voice. We will define our own future. The Africa of today is not passive. It is bold. It is entrepreneurial. It is unshackled. It is healing from the wounds of exploitation while building a future rooted in justice, unity, and pride. We're not just rising, we're returning to who we were always meant to be. A powerful people, standing tall, unafraid, and unapologetically African. Africa's changing identity isn't a rebrand, it's a resurrection. Africa is no longer just a pawn in the global chessboard, it's becoming a player rewriting the rules. Nowhere is this clearer than in West Africa, where a powerful wave of political awakening is sweeping across the Sahel. The winds of change are no longer whispers. They are storms, led by young, unapologetic leaders who are defying the old world order and reclaiming African sovereignty. At the forefront of this movement stands Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the 36-year-old revolutionary from Burkina Faso. He didn't rise through the ballot box, but through the bold conviction that Africa must no longer bow to foreign dictates. In a region plagued by decades of neo-colonial interference, Traoré is a symbol of defiance. He speaks with the fire of Sankara and walks with the courage of Lumumba. In him, many young Africans see a reflection of their own frustration and their hopes. The Sahel is done being a playground for foreign militaries and multinational corporations. Countries like Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso have made it clear France's grip is broken. Western troops, once presented as peacekeepers, have been shown the door. In their place, a new narrative is taking root, one of Pan-African solidarity, regional cooperation, and homegrown solutions. These aren't isolated events. They are part of a broader geopolitical shift. West Africa is uniting under a bold idea: Africa for Africans. The rejection of ECOWAS in its current, foreign-influenced form, the strengthening of alliances among Sahelian nations, and the desire to build a regional defense and currency system are all signs that the colonial script is being torn apart. The message is simple: Africa will no longer outsource its security or sell its dignity for aid. Of course, this awakening has provoked fear in the West. Economic sanctions, media smears, and diplomatic pressure are thrown at these leaders. But this only reveals the depth of the threat they pose, not to peace, but to the global system of control that has kept Africa in chains. The young leaders of the Sahel are not perfect, but they are courageous. And in a continent long silenced, courage is a revolutionary act. Ibrahim Traoré and his counterparts are not just changing governments, they are shifting minds. They are proving that African nations can chart their own path, defend their own people, and speak with one voice. The geopolitics of Africa are evolving. And this time, Africans are writing the map. The greatest fear of the West is not Africa's poverty, it's Africa's power. For centuries, foreign powers have fed off Africa's resources, dictated its policies, and manipulated its leaders. But now, the tide is turning. Africa is waking up, not to beg, not to bargain, but to build on its own terms. This is what truly terrifies the global elite: an Africa that is independent, united, and self-determined. Autonomy means control over our land, our labor, our choices, our destiny. It means no more IMF chokeholds, no more military bases disguised as partnerships, no more lopsided trade deals that enrich foreign corporations while impoverishing local communities. Africa's autonomy is a direct threat to a global system designed to keep it weak, divided, and dependent. But the new Africa is no longer playing that game. From Senegal to Zimbabwe, a fire is burning. Young people are tearing down the mental walls of colonization. Farmers are reclaiming ancestral land. Innovators are creating solutions for African problems, not Western validation. Leaders are rising who refuse to bow to old empires. They are talking of African currencies, African defense coalitions, African unity. This movement isn't born in boardrooms. It's rising from the soil, from the streets, from the soul of the people. And the response from the West? Fear disguised as diplomacy. Sanctions. Threats. Media smear campaigns. Interference in elections. All because Africa dares to say, we are enough. That we don't need charity wrapped in chains. That we can trade with each other, feed our own people, and protect our own lands. And that we have the right to determine what kind of future we want, without permission. The truth is, the West never feared a poor Africa. A weak Africa was useful, easily manipulated, and easily controlled. But a united Africa? An assertive Africa? That's the real threat. An Africa that's building its own industries, defending its resources, and controlling its narrative that Africa cannot be colonized again. Autonomy is not just a dream, it is Africa's right. And the more we claim it, the more the world reveals its discomfort. But we must not be deterred. Africa's liberation will not be handed to us. It must be taken, owned, and protected. Let the world fear our autonomy. Let it tremble at our unity. Because an Africa that is truly free, economically, politically, and spiritually, is unstoppable. The future of Africa is no longer a distant dream. It is unfolding right now, and it belongs to Africans. The chains of colonization, exploitation, and dependency are being shattered, one bold step at a time. From the heartbeat of the Sahara to the shores of the Atlantic and the Indian Ocean, a new Africa is rising. One that is not just reacting to the world, but leading it. This is the Africa of innovation, of purpose, and of unity. Our youth, dynamic, conscious, and courageous, are no longer asking for opportunities. They are creating them. They are coding new solutions in tech hubs across Kigali, Accra, and Nairobi. They are feeding cities with regenerative agriculture from the soil of Zimbabwe and Senegal. They are building energy independence through solar grids in the Sahel and wind farms in the Horn of Africa. Gone are the days when Africa waited for handouts. The continent is investing in itself, trading with itself, and believing in itself. With the African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA, we are tearing down colonial borders and building one of the world's largest single markets, by Africans, for Africans. Our resources are no longer for sale to the lowest bidder. They are assets to empower our people, not enrich foreign powers. Africa is also redefining global leadership. We are no longer asking to be included, we are demanding our place. In the halls of diplomacy, in the tech revolution, in the global fight against climate change, Africa's voice is growing louder, more assertive, and more unapologetic. We are not just participants, we are architects of the 21st century. And at the core of this future is Pan-Africanism, the belief that Africa's destiny lies in unity. No single country can rise alone. Our strength is in our solidarity. From the alliances forming in the Sahel to the cultural pride spreading through music, film, and fashion, Africans are reconnecting across languages, borders, and histories. The road ahead will not be easy. There will be resistance, sabotage, and attempts to divide us. But we have something stronger than fear. We have vision. We have ancestors who dreamed of this moment and descendants who will inherit its fruits. The future of the new Africa is not Western, not Eastern. It is African. Rooted in heritage. Powered by youth. Driven by justice. And inspired by the unstoppable will to be free. Africa's story is being rewritten, by us, for us. If you believe in the rise of a powerful, united Africa, don't just watch, be part of the movement. Like, share, and subscribe for more bold, unapologetic stories from the continent. This is Africa Revealed, where the truth of Africa lives, breathes, and leads.